Good evening and welcome to our Year 9-10 Parent Information session. In this session, the topics that will be covered are the senior school years, Year 10, and the subject selections for the Queensland Certificate of Education. We hope that you find this session informative, and if there are any questions, please feel free to contact Miss Peachy via email at school. So our senior school at Noosa Christian College, our planning begins in Year 10, and I work with the students once a fortnight in their HOS subject to help plan their pathway. So we will look at choice of subjects and career pathways. We'll look at some of the unique experiences that we have here at school. We'll talk about service and leadership training, and we call that SALT, and our pastoral care program that we have here at school as well. So just to begin with Queensland's system, you'll notice that we have transitioned to a new system for senior schooling, and we're going to go through that in a little bit more depth for you. So planning for Year 11 and 12 is a really important step for our students, and we've found this year that planning once a fortnight with our Year 10 students, they are much more confident, they are happy, they're excited, they are looking forward to their opportunities and what they're going to study next year. We have a wide range of learning options that are available for our students, and we look forward to working with your young person to plan their pathway. So planning the pathway. This plan helps students to think about their education, the training they'll need, and their career goals. It'll help them to be able to structure their learning around their abilities, their interests, and ambitions. And we know that students that have clear goals, they know where they want to go, what they want to do, are much more motivated. So we will help each of the students to map their pathway to achieve a Queensland Certificate of Education. And for some students, that will also include planning their ATAR pathway. So an ATAR pathway will enable them to go on to university at the end of Year 12. Now, planning their tertiary pathway, there are a lot of acronyms that we do need to be aware of. So the first one is QTAC. QTAC are responsible for calculating, for working out the ATAR number to be able to determine whether they get entry into university or not. So QTAC are responsible for creating that rank. That rank goes from 0 to 99.95 and compares students from within the Queensland state only. So you may have heard of OP. The ATAR rank has replaced the OP. Now, in order to be eligible, students must satisfactorily complete an English subject to be ATAR eligible. Students will need to complete a minimum of 5 subjects. This could be 5 general subjects or 4 general subjects and an applied subject, or 4 general subjects and a certificate 3 or higher certificate, and that will enable them to be eligible for an ATAR. The ATAR is calculated from a student's best 5 subject results, which means that if English is not in their best 5 subjects, it won't actually be counted towards their ATAR. Senior assessment. We mirror Year 12 assessment in Year 11. So that means that they get to experience and practice the types of assessments in Year 11 that they will be assessed on in Year 12. In Year 12, there are 4 assessments, 3 school-based assessments and 1 external examination per subject. The school-based assessments will contribute 75% to a student's final subject result, except for mathematics and science, in which it will be 50%. QCAA have validation processes to ensure that there is equality amongst marking and assessment tasks. And so QCAA will endorse and confirm school-based assessments and will ratify the subject results. So what this actually means is that the teachers will have written the assessments. They will have been sent off to the QCAA. There is a panel of specialised teachers that approve that task before the student sits that task. Once we have marked that task, we will submit it in the confirmation process to QCAA, and they will confirm our results. It usually takes 2 or 3 weeks later, and those subject results will be on the student portal, and the students will be able to see their own results before the external examination. If a student is completing an applied subject, the student will receive a numerical and an A to E final subject result. NCC will be supporting your child's journey through dedicated lessons, 1 per fortnight in planning that pathway. We will have career information days that we will attend where students can access information for their focus area. We also collaborate with the University of the Sunshine Coast on a range of programs, including the Rise and Shine Award program. We will be working with your child through a document called the Senior Phase of Learning, which guides and focuses their learning pathway. There is also regular specialised feedback during Year 11 and 12 that will be given to students on their progress. For Year 10, there are some key stuff that we would like you to be aware of. So our Year 10 coordinator is Mrs. Mel Zanini, and her email and contact details are on the PowerPoint. For curriculum and careers, I will be looking after that, so please feel free to email and contact me. Mrs. Mel Zanini, she will look after the work experience for Year 10, so that will be during the last week in Term 1, where the students will get to experience that for 1 week. We have specialised learning enhancement support for our senior students, and you'll see Mrs. Joan McNally supports us in that role. And our pastoral care team, Mrs. Kathy Campbell and Pastor Jacob, are there to support the wellbeing of our young people. At the beginning of next year, for Year 10, our students will be undertaking the Elevate program. This is a range of skills they will develop on that day, mostly refreshing for Year 10, although some of them may be new, on study skills and preparing for assessments. So our timetabled lessons 2 per fortnight in the HOS section, we're going to be looking at career skills, study skills, aptitude testing, and it is part of our wellbeing program, which has been quite successful this year. And the Year 10 students, in addition to their work experience, will also go on a Year 10 camp later in the year. Senior Phase of Learning Agreement. This learning agreement contains important information about the final years of schooling. It involves pathways to tertiary options. It involves planning the QCE, or Queensland Certificate of Education. It looks at planning the academic plans for Year 11 and 12 beyond. Alternative pathways. So if a child is looking at not attending university, we do have an alternative pathway for them to achieve either a certificate 2 or 3 in a variety of courses, as well as achieving their QCE. In the Senior Phase of Learning Agreement, there is also the final subject selection form. And this information in this document forms an agreement between the student, the parents or caregivers, and us as a school so that we can work in partnership together. So some things to consider from this session with your student. What are my career goals? Which subjects am I good at? Which subjects do I like or enjoy? We know students, if they like that subject, they'll put more effort into it and generally they do much better at it. Do I want to continue studying after year 12? If I want to go to university, are there any prerequisite subjects that I need to study? Are there any special entry requirements? For example, medicine with the UMAT exams. So how does the QCE work? There's a couple of things that we need to be aware of. For a student to achieve their QCE, they need to achieve 20 credit points. So for each semester, for each subject, that's 1 credit point. So if they study English in year 11, for semester 1 and 2, they'll get a total of 2 credit points. A set pattern is that they need to achieve at least 12 credits from completed core courses. These core courses can include general subjects, applied subjects, and any certificate subjects that they study. For a Certificate 2 course, a student can earn up to 4 credits. For a Certificate 3 course, 8 credits. Our current Sport and Rec course that combines Certificate 2 and 3 is 7 points. So it is important just to be aware of those things. Students can also earn up to 8 credits from core and complementary courses. So just need to be aware of that. So they need to achieve 20 credits. They need to satisfactorily complete those units of work and show competency in their assessments. Students will also need to complete literacy and numeracy. If they study English or Essential English in year 11 and they meet the competencies for Unit 1 and 2, that is sufficient for their literacy component. In numeracy, if they complete Essential Maths or higher and they are competent in Unit 1 and 2, that will meet the numeracy component for their course. Other unique experiences at our college include our buddy program, which involves primary school and high school classes buddying together, working together, and there's SALT, which stands for Service and Leadership Training. So SALT, Service and Leadership Training. In year 11, they will be involved in local community service projects, culminating in year 12 with an opportunity to go overseas on a community service trip. Wellbeing programs that we run in years 10, 11 and 12 are the Rider, the Party program and the RACQ docudrama, which relate to student wellbeing and vehicle safety. In year 12, they will also have the opportunity to attend the ecumenical service, as well as group leadership conferences and the service trip to Vanuatu at the end of the year. Thank you for attending this session. It's the first in a series of sessions that will help to understand the senior years and what we're planning to do to help your young person be ready for years 11 and 12. We hope you find this informative and we thank you for your time.